Hello, 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 hello. Introductions, not my strong point. Hello, welcome. This is Life is Strange. I'm gonna episode 5 of this just came out, and we're gonna preface this. I'm not gonna do any spoilers without saying for the first bit, no spoilers. Then I'll talk a bit about the story afterwards if you're willing to listen. This part is just after the first bit of the game. This is literally like the start of the game, just where you have this free bit to wander around. So I'm just gonna wander around here and not really. I might show off one puzzle or two, but nothing else. So this is Life is Strange. This is
I better read Warren's text before he blows my...
Yes, okay, shut up.
Okay, I better get to my dorm and grab that flash drive.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, this is... Oh my god, I know how to play the game. Yes. Oh, god. So, this is like... It's sort of a Telltale style episodical adventure game from a sort of a developer who's being published by Square Enix. It's not Square Enix themselves, but it's being published by them. And it's kind of like if you've ever played any of the Telltale episodic games, like the Walking Dead series, or oh no, it's a squirrel, like the Telltale ones, or The Wolf Among Us, or Tales in the Borderlands, or the new stupid fucking Minecraft, or the Game of Thrones one, or the Back to the Future one, or the what? They've done a lot of these style of games, Telltale, and they're getting kind of boring now. But anyway, this is a different kind of style of one. This is less.
So weird to be back here after 5 years.
I don't need you in a monologue, Maxine. So this is like. It's a bit different because the other ones, the Telltale ones, were sort of more point and clicks. Well, this is a third-person game, but it's got the same kind of style of the idea. You go around, you ask questions. The game generally plays itself, like especially like in some of the later episodes. I had my hand off the fucking keyboard and mouse for a good, 2/3 of the damn thing, because it is mainly choices. It's mainly choices, right? Who's this? Oh, I can take a photo of this. It's mainly choices you do in this game, and a little bit of exploration. From what I found, okay, I better. Sorry, this. Oh god, I'm bad at these. I never write notes. You see, so the big gimmick of this game is that Maxine here can rewind time. There we go. Now, this isn't really explained at any point. That's slightly a spoiler, but I mean it's a worth thing to know. It's never really explained how she got them, so you're just gonna have to accept that she has time travel powers. Now we can talk about time travel in many ways. There's the time travel paradoxes, multiple universes, the idea of you going back and meeting your future self and past self and blah blah blah. This is kind of a different style of time travel. If you've ever watched Back to the Future, you'll know that they can go back previously where they were, and they'll still see themselves doing what they were before. They'll sort of overlap. This, it doesn't do that. If I'm stood here at this time, let's say this is 20 seconds past, it's 20 seconds into the minute, let's say, for example, and I walk over here, right? I run over here, and let's say now it's 30 seconds into the minute, and then I rewind 10 seconds. I'm not back over there, and my past self isn't back over there. I am over here. I stay in the same place in the physical dimension, if that makes sense. So the idea is that I could unlock a door, walk into the room, rewind time before I unlock to the door, and then I'll be on that side of the door, and I would have sort of like not teleported. I guess I don't know. It's like I rewind time around me, but not for myself. If that makes any sense at all. Which it makes some sort of interesting puzzle ideas, because it's less, if you've seen time travel games where you can rewind time and you make a duplicate of yourself. There are some out there like that, and especially some that are coming out more recently. This is not really one of those types. I can sit down and I can look at the scenery and have some nice
So
fucking.
bizarro to be back
Oh
here
my
after
god,
5
Bizarro.
years.
She says Bizarro, right? That's basically the game.
I thought I could just fit right back in.
I don't care. The space button skips whatever you start doing. So there's very little puzzles. I'll say that. I mean, I have this problem with the more recent Telltale games as well, is they focus a lot more on story than puzzles. There is a small puzzle in this. I can actually go show you that. It is just over there in the next load area. It's a small puzzle involving getting some people out of the front of a building so you can walk past them. But I can't even really think of any other examples of puzzles. There's some very minor ones that involve, you know, keypad numbers or sort of looking around for some specific thing. But for the most part, it's a story-driven game. I'm going to be honest, the puzzles seem like filler. I feel like they wrote a story and all the gameplay is filler. And I said this on Twitter, I think this would have been better as a movie or a mini-series on TV or on in the cinema. Because every bit of gameplay doesn't feel necessary. I mean, you make choices within it, and that's his big gimmick. Choices matter, and this is what the rewind thing is about. Like, you can do any choice, and, you know, you might get some more detailed choices, and you go, oh, I don't like that choice, and you rewind back to before you made that choice, and then you can redo it. And the idea is that you really... Because the problem in The Walking Dead, if you've played any Telltale games, you can make a choice in an instant and go, oh, fuck, that was the wrong choice, and then you're fucked. And I always liked that about the Telltale game, especially in something like The Walking Dead, because someone can die as a result of that. Someone can die. I can look at these and she'll...
Ew, gross. At least switch to E6.
Oh, you fucking nut. I'll get onto the character in a minute. Yeah, there aren't many puzzles, and it's... I don't know, story, because story-based stuff, right, I'm fine with. It's just... I think there's a certain type... Like, I really loved... is it Gone Home? Oh, fuck. I think that's it. The sort of walking around first-person game in a house. I love Gone Home, because that was a puzzle game, inherently, and it was an exploration game, and you learned the story through doing things. You didn't have the story told to you in cutscenes or anything like, this is what this does. This tells you the story in cutscenes and through dialogue, which doesn't differentiate it from a movie. That's the thing. There's very little that differentiates this from a movie or miniseries, and that doesn't make it necessarily bad, but I don't know if it really necessarily fits the medium of a game. But obviously a game is relatively easier to well, I don't know, is it though? See, I was thinking of this yesterday. Did they not do this as a movie or a TV show because making it as a game was easier? And obviously game development is extremely difficult. I mean, it is finding a set and casting and everything and getting everyone in the right place and writing the script and everything, is that more or less difficult or expensive monetary wise than this? And I don't know, probably isn't, let's be honest. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you'll talk about that in the comments, but I don't know, it's obviously the game developers have wrote this and they thought, oh, this is a nice story, we'd like to tell this. Sorry, I'm just walking around aimlessly. I don't really know what else to do. I can look at things and shit. I look at things, but like,
And this is where the otters
this is such a shit like game for commentary. I see a lot of YouTubers do this game, and I sort of skim through them, and there's just, they can talk so little because this fucking main character just fucking monologues all the fucking time, which is good if you're playing it. It's good if you're playing because it gives you a lot to listen to, but it's shit for commentary. So that's why I'm not really doing anything. I'm just wandering around aimlessly in this sort of nice, pretty environment. It's a nice sort of graphical style. It's kind of like a watercolor, I guess. I don't know. The idea is that, like, the basic story is, the premise is, you're Maxine Caulfield. You are a photographer who is really fucking hipster and indie bollocks, and you can time travel. And oh god, yeah, and you can time travel. And you discover later you can time travel through photos as well, which is where the photos come into it. As a drone, which you could never control, even though it hinted at a lot. So, right. I've done graphics, I've done the time travel mechanics, and I've done the puzzle bits. Story bits. Okay, this is an episodic thing. So I played each episode of these. It's about 2 hours long. You know, they averaged me about 2 hours each. Which is a good time for an episode like this. You know, the entire game, you know, came to about, 10 hours. Hey, just a quick note from editing, Matt. I realised in editing that I'd played 7 hours of this, not 10 hours. So and it's a £15 game, not a £10 game. So that's closer to £2 per hour. So I'm correcting myself in post. Look at me go, kids! Which is a fine length for a game like this. It's £10. I think this game's £10-15. So that means, you know, you get about £1 an hour, which I think is a good deal. You pay $60 for a game, you generally get 30 hours out of it. £2 an hour, sort of, you know, your money for your time. I think it's a good, alright deal. And I think playing it with the episodic thing and waiting, you know, a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months even, for each of these sections to be developed, was interesting. It's kind of like The Walking Dead. It puts it on cliffhangers and you go, oh, what's going to happen next? And you forget about it and you're all hyped up for the next one. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the episodical type thing.
This is so weird. These visions, this power.
She won't stop doing that. Right. I'm gonna go on to sort of the character of Maxine now, and the world, and then I'm gonna go on to the story. And I'm gonna put a big spoiler warning before the story, if you care. So the character of Maxine, right? She is an 18-year-old high school student who has moved back to... She used to live in this town, basically. It's a place in, I think, Oregon or Washington. Washington State. Northeast... No, Northwest America. Washington State. Not the D.C., not where the president lives. The one where fucking Twilight was set. Or it might be Oregon. It's somewhere up there, you know, sort of Northwest America. Very nice place. It's a place called Arcadia Bay. It's a sort of fishing-y type town, very Midwest, sort of very Western America, you know. And she lived there when she was a kid, and she's moved back there. And it's basically her discovering, you know, her old friends and blah blah blah. And I had a big problem with this because most of this game is high school bollocks. Right, I had this discussion with this with John, many a true night on a live stream, and he brought up some interesting points. And the idea was that, like, I got bothered by it because she was doing such stupid... Like, no, she has time travel powers. She has time travel powers, and she just frolics around, not really caring about the fact she has time travel powers. She's going around like, I better get this USB stick. I better... my friend. Oh, no. And you use all this time travel bollocks, usually for really arbitrary shit. Like, you know, you use time travel to make sure you get things right, or to make sure you know where something is, or to save time doing something, or... They're very arbitrary things. And I didn't like that at all. But John made the argument that, it fits the character, doesn't it? It's nice to see... His argument was that it was nice to see someone who, realistically... Because if you got time travel powers... Would you go mad instantly? Or would you just do little shit to make your life better? Because that's what she does. She does little shit to make her life better. And I wouldn't necessarily do that, but I can understand that the argument there. And I think one of the issues with the character as well is she's very unrelatable unless you sort of... She's very unrelatable as a person unless you fit the sort of description. I mean, it depends. I argue that you can enjoy a story without necessarily relating to the character. But when I'm playing as said person, I think I need to relate to the character more than if I wasn't playing as the person. Because, you know, I'm sat there walking around as her, and I'm given options like, I wouldn't do any of these. I'd do the other thing, but you haven't let me, you know, you're not letting me do. And it gives, that's why I like RPGs, because it gives you an element of freedom. Unless you really relate to the character. But in this, it's very much you're watching a story, but you're equally controlling it. And as I said, that's why I think it'd be better as a movie or a TV show, because it, you know, fits better with the narrative. I'm going to continue on just to this bit. Now, I play this in PC. Obviously, you can... Oh, I was in collectible mode. Hang on. Okay, there we go. I've reloaded the chapter. Now, once you've redone the chapters, you can reload every sort of load area separately. And replay it again. So, like, the final ending of the game, for example, gives you two very difficult choices, and I want to see what happened with both of them. So once I finished one choice, I reloaded the game, and
turn Warren's flash drive.
I reloaded the game, and I tried it again, and I did it. It's quite easy if you want to go back, and if you want to get collectibles, as I said, you can go into this mode. Choices don't impact what you do. You can go around and snap photos, which is, you know, part of a collectability type thing. Now, as you can see, this is one of the puzzles here. This is like the first sort of proper time puzzle you get, I think. Really, the idea is you have to get... They won't let you through because they're arseholes, they're bullies. So you have to force them out of under there. And the way generally you'll do that, and you'll have to mess around with... Because he'll go up there and paint. The idea is you have to do something so the paint drops in the head and whatever. That's how you do it.
Warren what's going on, would he laugh?
Oh god, she keeps talking to herself. That's the idea at this puzzle. I might show you that in a sec. And there's a lot of little things, For example, I think there's a point where when you're walking out, she gets hit in the head with a baseball accidentally, right? And you can sort of rewind and stop that. Because it's arbitrary shit. It's very much, you are just doing this arbitrary shit. And I got really annoyed at the character. I got really annoyed at the character of Max Caulfield just because she's very whiny. She's very inner monologue and very whiny. And I suppose that's the point of the character, innit? She's supposed to be like this, and it's a bit. Actually, no, I won't say. I'll say that in the spoilery story. That but yeah, she annoys me that, and I found it very hard to be relatable to her, and I got rather frustrated while playing as it, because as I say, when you're playing as a game, I feel like it's more necessary to relate to the character you're playing as, less so than a movie. I feel like I would have enjoyed this a lot more if it was a movie. But at the same time, a lot of what this game does is it's very much Spec Ops: The Line, where it looks at you and how you've made your choices and sort of judges you for them, which is a thing they can only really do in a game. But once again, I felt like every gameplay and choice element felt like filler. It all felt like it all felt like padding.
Everybody
around
said
the story.
I love being
Oh
on
my
my
God.
own in a dorm. Wrong.
So everything that they did to make it a game feels like padding. Like, the puzzles feel like padding. I mean, none of it feels necessary to the story. And it feels like they've written this story and they've just crafted the game around it as opposed to, you know, the other way. Which, I don't know if we worked. I liked the story. I'll say that. I got really frustrated with it, and I was going to do a video after I played episode 4. And then episode 5, you know, with my final thoughts, but I ended up not doing that. So this is after episode 5 when it's all over and done with. And I can say I liked it a lot more after playing episode 5 because of a lot of the conclusions and stuff. But equally, it still frustrated me because it's very much like, what are you, this is so, like, why would you do any of this? Like, why would you, oh. Okay, I'm going to talk about light spoilers now, right? I'm going to have two classifications here. There's going to be light spoilers, which I say aren't talking about direct story elements and more things that happen in the game, but obviously some people really hate any sort of spoilers if they haven't played this. So that's for those people. But I don't feel like these spoilers are going to necessarily impact the story, or they're not going to make, you know, they're not going to make it so you're not surprised at certain elements. And then I'll do another bit with a big direct story spoiler. So the smaller story spoilers, now, if you want to leave, now, if you don't want to hear those. Basically, like, there's a bit where you find something bad's happened. There's a lot of times when you find out someone's done something really fucking bad in this game.
This place looks like such a hub of scholastic joy. Looks.
Oh my God. She has a fucking journal and she takes fucking oh my God. She knob. No, yeah. So there's several points in this where you discover bad things have happened, or something bad has directly happened to you, whether it's breaking and entering, or vandalism, or something more serious, and your reaction is never, not once. You never go, let's go to the police. Not once. And the argument is like, oh, the person who did it has the police force in the pocket. And why would you not? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating playing it through it and not doing these things, because they make so much sense. And I think that's what annoys me about not relating to the character very much, because it's I get it, she's not, I mean, this character is not me at all, obviously. Clearly not. I am not an 18-year-old girl in a Northwest American art school doing a photography fucking course, am I? So this is completely fucking opposite to what I am. And she's very happy-go-lucky and cheery and blah, 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 blah. And I'm, well, cynical. But even then, it's frustrating. It's frustrating just being given control of a character and not doing the things that make sense to you. And I think that's what frustrates me most about this not being, once again, a film or TV show. So, yeah, that's that. And there are other times where it's just like,
My friends and family say with Blossom
my.
around. I feel like ass.
Well, you fucking sound like an ass as well. Yeah, so there's many times where it just doesn't make sense. And, there's many times, especially where the characters don't react in a way I'd expect them to. Like, there's times when, as I said, they discover something bad and they either don't go to the police, or they just do something like, Max especially. There's many times in the game where I'm sat there going, she should be really fucking traumatized at this point, or she should be really concerned, or something, and she never is. She always has the same posture about it. She always has the same look about it. You know, she never seems to change her level of concern, or how much she's affected by it. I mean, she you know, she's affected in the moment a lot of times, but there's never like, oh shit, this is actually, what the fuck's going, you know. Because I swear, if this happened to me in real life, I'd freak the fuck. I am pretty strong-willed, but I'd freak the fuck out, man. I'd freak the fuck out. And she never seems terribly concerned. That's so frustrating to me. Anyway, I'll get onto the more direct story spoilers. So if you played the game, these will be for you. Or if you're not necessarily planning to play the game, I'll give my sort of recommendation now, based now. I recommend the game if you're interested in sort of a story. You'll be frustrated, but honestly, the story's not too bad, and I think it's worth it for the story alone, even though it's very frustrating in many ways. But I think it's worth playing. The story's interesting. It's an interesting story, even though I don't think it works as a game. That's my verdict. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the direct story spoilers. Played the game before. That's, this will be for you, or if you sort of don't mind knowing spoilers, that's fine. So, big spoiler warning on screen now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, big story spoilers. Right. So, Max meets Chloe, and she saves her from being shot, and blah 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 blah. Victoria, what's its face dying, Kate dying, all that bollocks. Kate dying felt very annoying to me because she died on my playthrough. She died on my playthrough, and when she was up on that roof, right, doing that death scene, it felt so annoying because she went through this like checklist of things you'd done, and I, for most part, like helped her out. There was one part, like when she was being harassed by what's its face, where I took the picture instead of defending her because like, well, I want evidence, But she went through this weird checklist where she got the roof to it. Oh, but you didn't do this, and she really fine. Then it went back to you, and then it went back to her, and she changed the expression completely. Like they were two like it was like they'd recorded the developers had recorded a load of messages, right? One outcome for each decision, right? So if you hadn't helped her at this specific point, she'd have a negative small cutscene for that, and if you had, it'd have a positive one. But the way it like links them up is very checklisty and very like arbitrary, and not even arbitrary, just very cold and very black and white. So it's a bit like, oh, thank you, I'm so happy you helped me, and then I hate you, you're the way, it just didn't feel right. I mean, I'm alright, this sounds a bit weird. I'm happy she committed suicide, not because I'm happy she committed suicide, but I'm happy the games had I'm happy the game had the balls to do that. No game really does that. Like, you always expect them to get help, but no, she just commits suicide, and that's it. You can't save her. You're done. People who went back and went, oh, I have to save Kate, and redid their entire save. You're knobs. Accept your stupidity. This is what these games are made for. Decisions matter. Accept you fucked up. Except when people die, that you could have done something and that's your fuck up. Accept it, man. But, oh my god, this is 23 minutes long. Oh god, I ramble for a long time. Yeah, so that I liked that. I had the balls to do that. Then they're sort of near the ending where it was that nice big twist near the ending with Jefferson, and the way they dealt with sort of mental illness, and it was interesting. And I also liked that the game had the balls to sort of. It had the balls to do a lot of things. It touched on a lot of subjects that no game really does. But once again, I go back to the point in that. Why the fuck didn't you just go to the something? Like, there were so many times she right, okay, she was kidnapped, watched her best friend get shot, she was drugged and photographed in a bunker and thought she was about to die. And she still has the exact same fucking demeanor about her. She has, like, very little reaction to it. She seems very minorly scared. Like there's a wasp in the room. That's how scared she seemed. Like, there was a wasp in the room. And then she goes back to being completely normal. And then she escapes, and, she's in that bit where she's in the art gallery. She's like, oh, this is fine. You should have fucking post-traumatic stress disorder, love. That's not... You can't just... That happened, like, 10 minutes ago for you. You can't just go, oh, it's fine now. And then she goes back there, and then, like, there's a bit where Thingy comes in, and saves her from the bunker, and you go out and she puts it close, and I have to go outside and use my phone. It's like, have some fucking reaction. Have some long-term reaction, please. That's so frustrating. She just doesn't. She reacts, and she goes, oh, and that's it. She's back to fucking normal. She's back to, oh no, my photograph. I don't care. Oh my god, be traumatized. I shouldn't want her to be traumatized, but for God's sake, she should be traumatized. The character they've written is a very timid character, kind of introverted, shy, hasn't really got that much in life, you know, is exploring new worlds and everything. She's just a normal fucking girl, right? Pretty much. Why the fuck? She's not hardened by a horrible life or anything. If she was hardened by a horrible life, I get it, but she's not. She's a normal girl. She should be reacting more to these fucking situations. And she just doesn't. You know, it's like, oh no, and then it's fine now. What is no? It's not. No. See a therapist, please. Jesus Christ. It's annoying me. Anyway, the endings, well, the Chloe versus the town. I chose the town, obviously, because extremely selfish of me to choose Chloe. Although 50% of people did choose Chloe. I'm actually gonna go back now because I don't need to. I was avoiding showing the bits. I was avoiding showing these bits because of spoilers, but I can show these now. Yeah, I chose to sacrifice Chloe, and a good, you know, it's almost a good 50-50 there. And I was quite happy with that ending. It was a very right, there was a bit in the diner, you know, you're going through and you're speaking to all those people, and a lot of my issues with the story were addressed by this one conversation with myself, where she goes, you just fucking wasted, she was talking to herself and going, you wasted your powers on petty bullshit and getting people to like you, and I was like, yes you did, thank you for addressing that, game, thank you, and I felt a lot better about a lot of the things in the game because of that, but at the same time, it's still, you know, another thing about the game as well is, since you sacrifice Chloe, you basically go right back to the first decision you ever make using time travel. And don't do it. So basically, the end goal of the game, right, is this sacrificing Arcadia Bay, every decision you made throughout that game happened. That all happened, and that all carries over because you're in that time period. If you choose to sacrifice Chloe, that basically goes, every decision you made over those 10 hours didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. And the idea is that you deciding to sacrifice Chloe, that's essentially the same as you literally starting the game, doing that decision, and just letting her die. That's slightly annoying to me. Basically going, none of what you did mattered. But at the same time, I think that was the point. So, I don't know. There's a little bit of thing. Right, let's go over these choices now. There's a lot of things here. You know, there's a lot of things that choices that didn't matter. Because you know you either weren't going to be in that time period, or it was going to be undone or whatever. Like this one about you know, alternate reality paralyzed Chloe wanting to, you know, to be euthanized. I knew it didn't matter, but it was just horrible. It was horrible. It puts these really horrible choices to you. These really choices that make you extraordinarily uncomfortable. Even if they don't matter, they just make you extremely uncomfortable. And I like that it has the balls to make you that uncomfortable. I refused. I knew it didn't matter. I knew I was going to leave, but I just felt so uncomfortable and so bad about it. You know, and it was very strange. I mean, you see all these things, that Kate, you told Kate to go to the police, answer Kate's call, you didn't try and shoot Frank. You couldn't save Kate. There we go, 34%. So I was in this sort of outlier there. But as you can see, for the most part, you took, like, for the most part, I helped Kate. I mean, but I like the idea on that. Well, no, I don't like. I hated the idea, right? You know when you go back in time to the classroom and you basically make everything better from this one moment in the classroom where you basically tell Victoria to fuck off. You tell Victoria to fuck off. Yeah, you told Victoria to fuck off, and you went to Kate and comforted her. I like the idea that you just saying that one thing to Kate stopped her committing suicide. Which, on one hand, could, like, that little thing could make a difference. But on the other hand, I'm sat there going, well, if she was as depressed as she was, would that one thing really? No, I don't think it would. You kissed Chloe as well. That was a weird thing. The Chloe kiss, right? I accepted the kissing Chloe because I thought, okay, it's going to make me look confident. It's going to make me look like I don't have, you know, because it was very much a dare, you know, it was very much a prove yourself to me. It was like, okay, fuck you. I'm not fucking taking this shit. Fine. You know, but apparently, I realised afterwards, that's actually you making a move on Chloe romantically, which What? No. Yeah. Let's see. Frank is David's gone. You refused Chloe's request. Yep. So it was a lot of... I don't know. I like the game. But... I have so many issues with it. I think that's the problem with it. I think... I liked the story. But at the same time, it was incredibly frustrating to me. Just, you know, to play it. Just so many things didn't feel like right. Does that make sense? They just didn't feel. They didn't make sense. You know, nothing made sense to me, and it was incredibly frustrating. All the choices you make are annoying, and I like this scene, right?
Hitchcock famously called film little pieces of
this, I guess, was my favorite like scene in the game.
What the hell?
This is the bit where you black out, and this is a nightmare.
I have to listen to
This is a nightmare as opposed to like going back in time or anything like that.
Now,
and I don't care. I don't.
Okay,
I'm just gonna let her talk for a second.
Am I stuck
No.
in a time?
No, I like this bit because it really goes.
Bueller.
It goes a bit out of whack with gameplay. With the birds there. I thought I could actually go forward to the bit with the stealth section, but no, it won't let me. I really enjoyed this bit, especially it shows off the engine a bit as well. Can you see? I love this effect right here. Watch as the light coming into the room gets more and more red. There, look at that. That's a beautiful effect. Beautiful effect. I mean, this entire thing is lovely in the way it does. In fact, I mean, it kind of makes me sad they didn't do this shit more. This a bit. There's more freaky shit in the game, a bit more. I'm gonna skip all this. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I know that in the books it really just show what this game engine can do. Because I don't really think I've seen this game engine before.
Can't be real.
I
don't believe
and I actually switched between controller and mouse and keyboard quite a bit. I like this section. This was a proper like sort of puzzly section. It was a simple puzzly section, but it was the first kind of sort of puzzly thing I saw. Did a lot of weird things like this entire thing. Watching like Kate, if you obviously let Kate die, I don't. Watching her mourn over herself and then her blaming you for it. It was just this really clever Stanley Parable-y type sort of game design, which I really respected.
Instead, you've stuck me in hell. Alone forever. Kate, I was only trying to save you.
I liked it. I love this. I love that. That's such like these effects are really nice, and they can do this, and I wish they would have just sort of done a bit more weird shit like this more, and embrace the sort of weird aspect of the time travel shit she's doing, because they never really did. It was like, oh, you time traveled back and you found a key, well done, you know. And I don't know, it was always a bit. I felt like this game had a lot of wasted potential as well. Gameplay wise, I felt as I said before, they put all their effort into the story and didn't really touch on the gameplay felt like filler. This bit is the only bit in the game where I felt like they actually paid a lot of attention to the gameplay for once, and that slightly frustrates me because it's a really nice section. You know, figuring this stuff out. You know, this is Rachel. So you got to go to Rachel Amber's room, which is here if you look on that map. Go to this room. It's a nice little puzzle section, and I wanted more of this stuff. I like puzzles in these games. That's why I always sort of got annoyed at the Telltale games, the new ones especially, because they just got rid of the puzzles in them. Walking Dead Episode 1 was fantastic because they had so many puzzles, and it was just worked well with the story. But then I don't felt like this really touched on it, and even the newer Telltale games don't touch on it. So yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of problems with the game, but I think it's worth it. Oh, this bit's weird. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of how they did this bit as well. But yeah, my final verdict on this game is I have a lot of issues with it, but I think it's actually worth playing. As many issues as I have with it, I think it's worth a play, even though I'm extremely frustrated by a lot of it. If you like story-driven stuff, you'll like it. If you want more gameplay, don't even bother. But yeah, if you want an interesting story, give it a go. It's not too long a game. You can complete it in about 10 hours if you're playing each episode back to back. You know, it has some nice soundtracky bits. It's very hipstery indie bullshit sort of stuff, and you might get frustrated at that. And I don't know if it's making fun of it, really, or what. I never really. Oh shit. Oh, what happens if I Oh, it fast. I never really. I never really tried that in this bit. That's a nice effect where you can fast forward and hear the conversation. That's cool. I like that. That's cool. But yeah, that's it really, isn't it? I don't have much else to say. I've a lot of issues, but I think it's probably worth it in the end if you like stories. But yeah, cool. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. We got through all like 35-40 minutes of this. Sorry it's long. I don't script these, and I like to just sort of ramble. I feel that's why people come and watch me, for the rambly nature of shit anyway. I don't tend to change that for these kind of stuff. So yeah, thanks for coming and watching. I'll make everything go the right way now. That's cool. Didn't try this as I say before, so yeah. Oh. Yeah. See you later.
It must piss off those pretentious galleries that Mark Jefferson is teaching photography to us black lunatics. Plus, he is pretty hot for an older guy.
Hey, I don't know. You're the new quiet girl at Jefferson's class. Isn't he incredible?
He's never changed.
I can't take it. I have to stop.